My name is Kristin Hartman. I'm from Iceland. I went to University of Iceland. And now I'm doing a master's program in industrial engineering at Columbia.
Hi, my name is Lara. I'm Lebanese. I studied civil engineering at the American University of Beirut, and I'm currently enrolled in the OR program, and now it's my second semester here.
Hi everyone, my name is Rishikesh Jadhav. I'm from the IUR department and I'm pursuing my master's in operations research. I'm from India, my hometown is Mumbai, and I'll be graduating in December 2018.
Hi, I'm Mathilde. I'm from Paris. I did my undergrad at the University of Bath in the UK, and I'm in the master's program in civil engineering.
Hi everyone, my name is Jack. I'm doing the Master of Data Science. I went to UC Berkeley after I graduated from my high school, and I worked a couple of years. Then I do my graduate school application, and now I'm here. DSI, Data Science Institution. The institute has its own reputation, so it's the top among all the school have the data science program, so it's a natural choice for me to be here.
Yeah, it's obviously a great school. I wanted to be in the city ideally, and also for the civil engineering program, you could pick all of your classes and finish in 2 semesters, which was ideal for me, so that was my main reasons.
I think my reasoning was twofold. One is obviously the city, the dynamic city that this is, and second is the vast reputation that Columbia Engineering has in the industry from a job market perspective. I think that played, those 2 reasons played an equal part in my decision.
So I just want to add, like all what they said is true. And like one thing is that doing a master is just not about studying, it's about like networking and meeting people. And like the fact that Columbia is in New York is like the major point, especially for a master student. You just go out and you meet someone new, and like that's the peak of being here.
Yeah, I had the same reasons. I came to visit New York in 2012 and just knew I wanted to live here. So and then my friend went to Columbia like 5 years ago, and he told me it was amazing, and I followed up what he was doing. So yeah, then I applied. Yeah.
For me, it was the first time that I live alone and like I move abroad from home, and so it was a big transition in the beginning. But like you get at the beginning, it's a bit stressful maybe, and like you don't know what's happening. But then you get used to it, and like you discover yourself, and like you're not alone. Everybody's here kind of here for the first time, so you kind of find your group of friends, and it becomes your family, and like.
I think I completely agree with Lara. I think. Also, as an international student, we face a lot of, we're completely anxious as to how the city is going to be. We've all heard about how big the city is and probably how indifferent people can be. But I think this city is great. And I think more importantly, Columbia in general is a great school. I think all the entire faculty, the administration, and even the students, the peers that you have, they're all just amazing people. And everyone here is so collaborative, helpful. And they just make your experience here at Columbia even better. So for me to transition as an international student got easier because it was facilitated by the people around me who were obviously in the same boat as me. And the Columbia crowd is mostly international, so you're going to be right at home all the time. So yeah.
I completely agree with that. I think we were all kind of in the same boat when we came here. So everyone was in the same mindset of trying to make friends, and like everyone was really open. Definitely try and not stay in your own bubble and like talk to people and things like that. For me, I was lucky enough that I come to campus a couple of years ago because my brother went here, so I came for his graduation, so I kind of knew my way around, so that was nice. But definitely I think it can be really overwhelming, but just try and talk to people and just discuss your feelings with everyone, and we'll just like help each other out. Basically, that's kind of what happened to me, I think.
I would say for me, because I came to US after I finished my high school, so I first came here. I live with a homestay family, and they're extremely nice. They're Catholic, and they're very open-minded. The first time I've been here, I can barely speak English, but I mean, not only in New York City, but also across America, I'm pretty sure so many people that are very nice. They're very open-minded. they will, I mean, really be very friendly to you. So there's, I'm pretty sure there's nothing to be scared. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, like in the beginning, we had this professional development program. So we had like 2 weeks in the beginning without classes, like when or it was like more like fun classes where you could have like meet people, and that was really comforting. So like when the classes started, you already knew I knew Laura, and we like then you have someone in class like to talk to
And also, like, there's the events in the beginning. So, like, the school, like, organize events. So you meet all your class before, like, the study works. So, like, so which is good.
I was really lucky. I like when I got the offer, I just contacted all of the people I knew in New York, and one of my friends had an apartment, so I and his roommate was moving out, so I was very fortunate, and I live in. Yeah, I was super lucky, but yeah, so I live in a little bit uptown in Hamilton Heights, but yeah, that's a very nice neighborhood, and like it's in Harlem, so people are like many of my friends were like, Harlem, isn't that dangerous? But it's like where I live, I feel super safe, and yeah, the rent is cheaper. Like if you go a little bit up.
For me, like, it was important to find my roommates before finding the apartment. So I wanted to go out of my comfort zone and not just because there's a lot of Lebanese here, but I didn't want to live just with Lebanese. So I found one Lebanese friend to live with me, and then what I did is go to the Columbia off-campus housing, and you can find a roommate there. So I found a third roommate who's American, so this pushed me also to speak in English at home. And so when like we agreed, all of us like to live together, and then after this, it was easy to just like find a 3-bedroom. You just talk to a broker. There's a lot of websites online like Street Easy, and like even the Columbia housing, like it offers like a lot of options. And like we just got into contact with the broker, and like we found a great apartment here next to Columbia too. It was like 20th Street below Columbia, which is still good. You can walk for like 20 minutes, and it's like great.
Yeah, I think I did use the Columbia's facilities, which is called the Off-Campus Housing Assistance. So I think that's a great website to begin with. You get tons of options, and it's all kind of approved and by Columbia University, so you don't have to worry about whether it's safe, whether it's not safe at all. Also, I know that there are a lot of brokers who are really helpful, and they give you tons of options as well. So I think the housing market in general around Columbia is pretty positive, and I think everyone ends up getting it. Also, there are a lot of Facebook groups where people post about vacancies. So I think that's another great resource that international students should use. And also, once you connect with your peers, I think they also have other leads, because a lot of people graduate by the time the international students come in August. So you can obviously fill in for them, because they have leases on a yearly basis or on a 2-year basis. So I think, so I'm staying with about a bunch of Indians and 2 Americans. So I think that played a big part in, as Lara mentioned about, you get to communicate with them in English. Even India is a huge country, so we don't have the same native language. So that kind of also played a part in me, speaking in English all the time with them. And I think that's a really important skill to have when you're communicating at Columbia as well.
For me, I went down like a little bit of a different route. I didn't know anyone coming here, and I wanted to sort it out as soon as I could. So I went through the UAH website and applied for Columbia housing. You have like the option between dorms or apartments. I just wanted the cheapest option, so I went for a dorm, and luckily I got it. I think not everyone does get it, but it's definitely a really good option, and you should apply. And I live about a 3-minute walk away from campus, so that's pretty nice. And I have a really nice view. Again, very lucky. But I think, yeah, same, like I live with mainly international people. Everyone's very nice, and like we share a building with undergrads and grads, and like everyone's really fun and really nice. So it's definitely a really good option, I think.
For me, I found my apartment through the connection of my friend. And for international students, I always encourage you to, check out the Facebook group. And for Chinese international students, check out the WeChat group. And I mean, don't trust the broker too much. I mean, always ask your friend to go take a picture or the video for you, so you can have a real sense of feeling. I mean, what the apartment is going to be like. Yeah. I'm a big fan of the, I mean, classical and the jazz music. So, and yeah. So I also check out the, I mean, all the jazz bars. So that's the most thing for me. I mean, after campus.
Yeah, I just like there's so much to do. You're never bored. If you want to do anything touristy, you can. If you just want to chill around with your friends, you can. And like the city can get a little bit overwhelming, but I think the Columbia area is quite nice and quiet and like a little bit of a bubble. So like if you ever feel sick of all the like busyness of New York, then it's definitely nice here. And yeah, you're never bored. There's always something to do, definitely.
Yeah. Interestingly, my first week in New York, I did kayaking on the Hudson River, and that was like one of the main things that happens over the summer. So what I'm really trying to say is that New York City has a lot of great events, and you just need to keep finding them. I think there'll be a time where there'll be more events than the time you have, and you're definitely not going to have time at Columbia. So, but you need to make sure that if you can utilize the free time that you have to go to other events and meet people, and they'll tell you about other events. And it's not necessary that they have to be in New York City. You can go to Boston, you can go to Philly over the weekend and maybe enjoy yourself and immerse yourself in other experiences which are confined to another city. I think that is also a great thing that I think people should pursue while you're at New York City.
Like as Mathilde said, like we're never bored, so there's always something to do. And like one thing I discovered that I like doing here is like running. So I discovered that there's Central Park next to Columbia, so you can just, when you're stressed, when you can't anymore like study, just need a small break, you just go, you run, you refresh yourself, and then you can continue the week. And like that's a great thing about New York. Like you have the mix of like you have the city, and then as she said, like here it's quiet, and like you have the option of going outside for outdoor activities too.
I can agree with everything they say. Yeah, it's coming from Iceland. It's like a much smaller community and not so much happening. But like here, you have everything. Like there's always something happening, and you can always find places open like 24 hours, and yeah, and pizza, and yeah, so yeah, and Central Park, and also like I was like, I didn't know how much you can like be outside because like it's a concrete jungle, but then you have like the rooftop bars everywhere. Like in the summer I was there like every day on a rooftop, like in the beginning.
I think mine's not central, but I stay close to it, so I see it every day. Mine's the piers, like where you can actually sit there and you can look at the Hudson River. And there are certain piers, like for example, Pier 26, where you can see the Statue of Liberty as well. You can see the World Trade Center. So piers, I mean, a lot of lively things happen there, not just during weekends, but also during weekdays. There's this whole carnival kind of atmosphere, and people can run around, like they can jog just adjacent to a pier. So I think that's for me, I think that's one of my favorite places.
I'd say definitely the rooftops and Central Park. I think like you can never get sick of the views that you get. Like you think you will, but you never do. And like yeah, Central Park's amazing. Like as you said, sometimes you just get sick of working. Like one day we just with my friends decided to go watch the sunset and like stayed for the park for an hour, and then you just go back home. And yeah, it's really like it's just beautiful, and you just don't get sick of it.
I think for me it's for the music center and music hall. Also the Blue Notes, I mean the jazz bar, also Central Park, the museum. I mean, there's so many things. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, Columbia campus is. I think it's very safe. In compare with, I mean, downtown, and yeah, but Columbia is very safe.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, to go back to favorite places, sitting on the steps of Columbia is also like a really nice thing. Yeah, I often just sit there like at night with my friends chatting, and there's always like security guards walking around, and you never feel like anything's gonna happen to you. And there's like constantly like police cars going around and like going in circles and making sure everyone's okay. And yeah, I don't like obviously as everywhere like bad things can happen, and you have to be careful. But like there's always people to make sure you're okay. So I wouldn't worry too much.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think Columbia is safe. Also, I think there are also these evening shuttles that ply on certain routes. So if you're going to be staying a little far from the campus, like I stay on 107, so I use those evening shuttles to go back home. So I think that adds to the safety when you're outside the campus as well. So Columbia takes care of you there as well.
One thing I was worried about before coming here is like, what if I'm gonna stay late on campus to study and like I will have to come back alone? But then like we're in the engineering school and everybody stays late and studies, so you'll always find someone to work with you like when you go back home.
It's a lot of work. So yeah, you study a lot. But it's also very fun. You have like there's so many events here. You could actually like if you wanted, you could be in an event organized by Columbia every night, and like yeah. So that's very good.
Yeah, I would say it's like very challenging and like it's stressful, but in the end it's really rewarding. So you're gonna work a lot and you're gonna be stressed in the beginning, but in the end like you're gonna feel like good and you're gonna like know when you have to stress, like when you have to like just take a break and. Yeah.
Can I add one thing to that? Yeah, the first midterms, like on the first semester, that was super stressful. You have no idea how you stand. Like you're like, oh, am I the? You probably think like I was like, oh, I'm the worst one. Like, but then like after the first midterms, it's gonna be a lot better. Like, yeah, you're gonna be. Don't worry.
Yeah, I think I agree with them as well. I think in general, I think. Like not just your midterms, but also the fact that for you to transition as an international student when you come here, when you take courses, just ask for help. Like, if help is always going to be there for you. If you face any sort of trouble, you can reach out to your faculty, you can reach out to your peers, anybody, and everyone's going to help you. And I think that's what I mentioned earlier about the collaborative experience here, and I think that kind of facilitates it.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Coming from my undergrad, you didn't really interact much with your teachers, and we didn't have TAs at all. And like if you ask questions to your professors, it was kind of frowned upon. It kind of made you seem like you didn't know anything. Whereas here, they encourage you to ask. You definitely won't learn everything in the classroom, so you have to ask questions to go to TA hours, go see your professors, ask your classmates. Like I think I've learned almost as much from my classmates that I have from actual classes. And yeah, it's intense, it's a lot, but it's not impossible. Like we've all done it and we're doing fine. And yeah, in terms of like exams and stuff, I was the same first midterms, like freaking out because my undergrad, when you had exams, it was like really formal and like really, really formal. It's not chill, but it's not as intense as you would think. It's kind of just to check that you've learned something and yeah, don't freak out too much. Don't get stressed definitely by exams and then you'll be fine.
Yeah, to me, because my undergrad is a public school, so I kind of feel like in public school the resources are always very limited, and I think in Columbia you have tons of opportunities. I mean, for the event, also the internship, full-time opportunities. There's a lot, and also I think the people are very smart here and they really like to help each other. So so I think it's for me it's very positive feeling about Columbia. Also, in my coursework is a lot of coding. You kind of coding 24/7, but on the other hand, it's also very rewarding. You help you to find a job in the future.
One other thing that I really like about my program is that it's like we only have like 4 mandatory courses, so we get a lot of selective courses, so you can choose and like what is your interest, and as well like they mentioned the TA sessions, like you get teacher assistant hours, so you can like if you have any problem with your homework, you can go there, and I feel like they really help. You always have access to talk about your course, and the professors also have hours, like, very open. Yeah, I thought a lot about it, like whether I should finish my program in 2 semesters or take it in 3 semesters. I ended up taking it in 2 semesters because I wanted to enjoy New York and also perhaps go for an internship. Yeah, I decided to do it in 3 semesters. Yeah, so I'm very happy about that. I don't like. I think 4 classes is enough, and also like when you get an internship, like you can. It's easier to find an internship and stuff like that.
Like in my case, I took 4.5 classes, like which is for 5 classes, and one of them ends in the middle of the semester. But like I wouldn't advise someone to take this. Like the first semester, it's hard to get adjusted, and like taking 5 classes is a lot. So like just take your time, and yeah, like you'll enjoy. Like it's not only about studying. You have to like be involved in the school like activities. Like there's a lot of groups, and so just take 4 classes to start with, and then you can decide whether if you want to do it, you want to finish it faster, you can take some classes in the summer, or you can just do an internship and then take the rest of your classes in the last semester. So it's a very flexible program, and so you have the choice of like modeling it like you want. But just to begin, like 4 classes is like I think the best combination to start with.
Yeah, I'm just going to echo what's been said here in simple words. Don't be overambitious, because the courses are going to be challenging, especially for somebody who has not really experienced American education. It's really different from what we have had in our home countries, and more than challenging, it's more application oriented. So you'll take some time, maybe until your midterms, to really understand what the professors really want you to write in the papers. So that's why I feel taking 5 courses in your first semester might not be such a great idea, until unless you really want to do it and you're ready to not sleep. So yeah, that can work out. But I think most importantly, students should also audit courses. They should sit in other lectures. So there's this shopping period that's termed, which is a 15-day period where you can sit in as many classes as you want and choose the right classes that you want to select for the rest of the semester. So I had done that in my past 2 semesters. I had sat for as many lectures as I could so that I got to know how each professor is. And so you can read about a professor online, or you can read about his work that he's done, but you don't really know how he teaches until and unless you've sat for at least 2 classes. So I would strongly suggest that every student that's coming into Columbia needs to use this opportunity. And if you can't take that particular course, just audit it or sit for certain sections, because any professor would not mind you coming to his lecture if you can just tell him that, hey, I'm interested to learn this particular part of the subject, and I think it should be fine.
So I'm doing 5 classes. I think it's completely feasible. I understand that a lot of international students want to do 3 semesters because they want to get an internship. I was lucky enough that I worked for 2 years before coming here, so I spoke to my career advisor about it actually, and she seemed to think that I didn't necessarily need to do an internship to be able to find a job here. So I spoke to a few like graduates from last year who did in 2 semesters as well, and everyone said that was feasible. And the head of our department seems to think, I think it's different maybe for civil engineering, but he seems to think that he doesn't understand why people are doing 3 semesters for our program. But again, like you get different opinions from everyone. Like our admissions officer seems to think they should do 3. So it's really how it is for you. If English is not your first language, which probably isn't for most people, it can be really tough. And then, yeah, I think 5 is also possible. I slept quite well. So I don't know, but I think it really depends on what classes you take as well. Maybe maybe my classes weren't that intense. I don't really know, but it really depends on you, I think.
For me, for my first semester, I took 4 classes and 1 research, and for this semester, I'm doing 4 classes and 1 intern. So I mean, and for data science, 3 semesters is kind of the standard. There's no reason you really want to go for only 2, because you would lose the summer internship, and also you have less time to find a full-time job. And also, if you are really capable, I mean, I would suggest you to do as many research as possible, because during the research, you need to find all the information by yourself, you need to read the paper, and also there's kind of different challenges you are going to receive from the class. And also, for those people came straight from American undergrad, you can also find the internship just on the first semester base. So that's also helpful. So there's I don't think there's specific reason to go beyond 5. I mean, 5 is a lot, but go beyond 5, yeah. yes, for the data science, there are tons of research opportunity from law school, business school, journalist school, just even from other universities, because nowadays, everyone have to do something related to the machine learning, deep learning, and we are the data science guy, so we are the labor to really help to clean and manipulate the data. So yeah, and for my first semester, I'm doing my research is focusing on is on campus. I work with the professor from CS department, computer science department, and we are doing a research to use the time series to predict the likelihood, the probability some patient would develop a cardio attack. So it's real patient, real data. So the data can be lots of the missing value and very messy. So we did a lot of the technical stuff to really clean the data and just increase the accuracy of the prediction. Yeah, but
yeah, I personally didn't do research because my main aim was to find a job after this. So I think in civil engineering, most people who do research is to then pursue a PhD. So if want to do that, that'd be great. There's a few design research opportunities, I guess, in civil engineering as well, where people end up using design software and stuff. So that could be useful. Personally, I just wanted to take more classes instead. I know basically if you are interested in doing any research, just go see a professor, discuss it with them, and then you can just find out from that basically.
Yeah, I'm just going to give a mixture of the two answers. I think the first step has to be reaching out to a professor on your own, and you can do that right now as well. I mean, not right now, but in a few months. Before you actually come to Columbia, speak to a professor, tell him about your interest, and tell him why you would be an asset to his research team, because a professor is going to respond to you irrespective of that, because you are a student of Columbia University, and he or she will obviously want to know what skill sets that you have. So if you can convince them, I think you can easily get a research opportunity. But there are certain professors who don't really have the capacity, even if you're really good. So I would say don't be confined to just the engineering school. You should pursue research opportunities in business school, law school. Because as Jack said, at this point, a lot of professors are looking for help in the data analysis section of work. So I mean, even if you're not interested in data analysis, it's a start. You can get that connection with the professor and then probably pursue more or actual research with him as and when that connection improves. So I think do not confine yourself to engineering school. Try and go to other schools, because that professor's network is also invaluable to get other research opportunities.
So I was looking for an internship, and Columbia offers a lot of resource to it. First of all, you have Handshake, which is an internal portal for Columbia where there's a lot of job postings, and you have to apply every day to a lot, and it's not easy to find internship, but you have to work for it, and you'll find it in the end. There's also a lot of career fairs organized by Columbia, by the engineering department, and also by the whole Columbia school. So you have this opportunity too, and also the engineering school brings company here. There are info sessions about companies, so you go there. There's, for example, 20 people in the class, and there's a presentation of the company, and then you have the chance to go and meet the people from the company and talk to them, and
you get a lot of help from Columbia. They have a very big career center here, which is cool. They don't have that back home where I'm from. And in the beginning, you have this professional development, so they will go through how resumes in the US should be, and how it works, the culture of networking, which is also very they tell you just to send LinkedIn messages to people who are in Columbia, and it's completely normal. But for me, it was it was really weird in the beginning. But I did that, and I went to visit an alumni who works at Facebook, and it's really like it's a really good network. And then they have they have the career fairs, which are really cool. And I actually got my internship through a career fair. So where you just give out your resume and the companies can contact you if they. So it's really cool.
The only thing that I would add is try and build a network before you come to Columbia University. You can do that right now. You can just, in your LinkedIn headline, you can say incoming grad student at Columbia University. That way you'll grab not just the recruiter's attention, but also if you just send a message to some other Columbia alum or any peer, so they'll know that you're from that network. And I think you can start utilizing that network's value right now, so that when you come here to the city, you probably have, say, 10 or 15 actual and valuable connections that you can meet. Because I think the first month, which is the orientation month, is relatively lighter for you to meet people. So you should use that opportunity to meet with people who you have spoken to in the past, over the summer. And I think it's mostly Columbia encourages you to do everything by yourself. I mean, they're going to give you the resources, but at the end of the day, it's you who has to get that job, either through an internal network or through using Columbia's resources. So I got my internship through an online network. So I applied online and I got it through that. So I didn't have to use my internal network, but I know a lot of people who have used their internal network and probably got better jobs than me, because that way when you make a connection, and if I have a referral, I can actually tailor I can customize the position that I want. And that's a big deal, at least when you're starting off as an intern as well.
Yeah, I'd say definitely don't be scared to network. I know back in Europe it's not really a thing, and it feels like you're kind of harassing people. You're not. It's really natural here. It's actually encouraged. I think it was like 80% of people find their jobs through networking or something like that, which is crazy. It's strange at the beginning, but definitely just put yourself out there. Go to the career fairs. I found my full-time job by just handing in my CV to someone who sent me an email. And then since November, I've had my job, which is really lucky. So I think don't be scared. And even if you find a job or an internship, keep going to networking events. And these people will be very valuable in the future, definitely. And talk to your professors. I know for us, most of our professors are actually like professionals in the industry. And don't try and impress them or anything, but definitely have a chat with them, and they can help you out as well. So I think just talk to people for sure.
Yeah, for me, I want to mention something first. For international students, it's very important to get a resume and a cover letter done before you arrive at Columbia, because actually this semester I'm helping many of my friends, mostly Chinese, helping them to modify the resume. And I mean, even after 1 year they attend Columbia, the resume is still can be improved. And also, as soon as I got my Columbia email, I was actually sending out all the looking for the coffee chat. I mean, just sending out into major corporations. I mean, depends on which industry you want to work in. So I send more than hundreds of email, for example, to JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs or even other industry. I mean, just to actively reach out. I mean, don't afraid to talk with other people. And for data science, for DSI, Data Science Institute, we have our own career fair each semester. So yeah, and I got my internship, and also some of my research opportunities through the data science career fair. So it's super helpful. And we also have the engineering school career fair, and also I think the whole campus level career fair worldwide. So yeah.
One other really valuable resource is your placement officer in your department. I know that the one in civil engineering is great, and she's helped us through everything from before even getting your job. Once you get your job, how to answer, how to potentially negotiate, things like that. Definitely go and see them. They're there for that, and they want to help you. So I think that's really, really important as well.
Get a job. Yeah, right now I'm doing intern at the United Nations. It's about data analyst. So I'm not going to go too deep into my duty, but mostly because in United Nations they have a very old system, so they're using Excel. So I'm translating. Yeah, I mean, that's not surprising, right? Yeah. So and I'm translating everything from Excel, from VBA into R and also Python, and also create some attractive visualization. Yeah, for the presentation. Yeah. Otherwise, you only use the Excel spreadsheet to. Yeah, that's not very interesting. Yeah, and yeah.
Yeah, so I graduate in 6 weeks, which is terrifying. And then, yeah, I've found a job, as I said, through Career Fair, and I start 2 weeks after I graduate. So I'll be staying here and working in civil engineering. Sorry, I'll be like a structural engineer in an architecture firm, Midtown. So it's exciting.
I'll be interning over the summer at Societe Generale. It's a 10-week internship, and my plan is to continue there in the fall internship, and probably, if I like it, maybe get a full-time there. So yeah, that's my plan.
I found my internship through Handshake, and so I will be a business analyst for the summer. Also, it's a 10-week internship program. And like when you do an internship, you have the chance like to prove yourself to be able to get a job. So many students here have their internship and then they just continue it as a full-time job. And like mine is in New York too. So but you can also have the option to do it out of New York. And then if you still have 1 semester left, you can also come back after. Yeah. It's here in New York. It's a company called Altice. So it's a telecom/tech company.
Yeah. I got my, like I said, I got my internship on a career fair. It was not really planned, but now I'm going to India for 10 weeks to work for a tech company there. And yeah, so we'll see where I end up after that.
So I'm going to, I mean, it's maybe more specific about data science. So I mean, get your resume down and also cover letter. And I mean, if you are not an English speech person, prepare your speaking, and also get practice into Python, C++, Java. I mean, there's more than 10 languages you need to know. So and also that's also where the opportunities are. So it doesn't matter which major you are. Maybe just for the breaking point, you need to consider to do some data analyst work first.
I'd say like don't be scared. It's gonna be fine. Definitely like try and have fun when you're here as well, and like make friends. Like you're in a really international like place, and you can learn so many like life lessons from the people around you. It's not all about just like studying nonstop. Do study, go to class, like learn when you need to learn. But yeah, and don't be scared to make friends. Definitely like try and not stick to people who speak the same language as you is one thing I would say. There's quite a lot of that. I think like you're here to improve your English as well, ideally. So like make friends from around the world, have fun, and like enjoy the city because it's amazing. It's like and it's a great school, and like it's beautiful and amazing. So.
Yeah, I think both of them covered it all. So I'm just gonna say, just take it easy. That's all.
What I want to say is like you're not alone. So even if you feel that, oh my God, you're drowning, there's a lot of study, you don't know what to do, but everybody's like you and you're not alone. You're gonna have your friends and like, yeah, take it easy. It's okay if at the beginning it's hard, but you'll get used to it.
Yeah, I would have taken, I should have taken a little bit more technical courses like this semester. I think I should have, well, at least next semester, I think I will probably take a course in machine learning or something like that. I wasn't really, after talking to my mentor, like, yeah, also like Columbia has a very good mentor system. Like I got a mentor who works for Amazon and he's been super helpful. And also they have like, yesterday I went to this alumni dinner, like where you get, like where they have, like they organize a dinner for students with an alumni and stuff like that. And I would use that, like I really enjoy that. Like they have like so many events and play like times to network and have fun.